Well, I promised you that we were going to explore orbs. Now, I have interviewed Nikole Christel before, some time ago, but, well, orbs weren't such a big deal then. Yeah, we talked about them, but it has become in our face right now, especially with the drones, the orbs around the drones, people like Chris Bledsoe and many, many others who are experiencing this, and it's getting more and more prominent and in your face. This isn't something that just one person sees and we have to convince them that it exists. UFOs are showing up, or UAPs, I should say, orbs for just about anybody who knows how to connect with them. You're going to learn all of this. So I wanted to interview her again because we are coming out with instructions for you on how you can do this. We're going to be doing some live streaming coming up, and I'm going to show you some of the evidence that she has, and we're going to explore this because there's a realm out there waiting for us to join that higher frequency of love, unconditional healings, a golden era that awaits us, just waiting for us to catch on a little bit. So are you ready for this wonderful interview with Nikole Christel in Michigan? Let's take a look at her evidence and listen to what she has to say about orbs. Okay, everybody, welcome. I know so many of you have been looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this. It's a new era. It is an exciting era, and we want to remove the fear. We want to open up the gateways to all the possibilities that everyone has access to and let you know that they're wonderful things for us to explore. And one of them is that unseen world that is becoming a little more seen through orbs and other things we've discussed. A lot going on out there with drones. We're going to talk about all of that today. I'm with Nikole Christel, and she is someone that I started speaking to years ago when, for the first time, I couldn't debunk the orb pictures she was sending over or videos. And I tried, as you guys know, and it wasn't cat dander or precipitation. It wasn't insects. And I finally realized this is the real deal. And I want to introduce Nikole to you because she and I are going to be working together on several projects, and she has her own channel she's releasing, trainings, and all kinds of things that we're going to start announcing to you because this is something you can do. It's communication with that unseen side, and like I said, now seen side that is all things. What is it? Why is it here? Why are we seeing it? And how do you communicate with it? Is there something to fear? What's the purpose of it? We're gonna discuss all these things because there are some patterns with those who see orbs, who call them in. Chris Bledsoe, if you're familiar, we'll talk about that in a moment, is one of those people. And I think it's time for you to explore this. We're going to do some very cool things together, live streaming, calling in orbs. So let's get started. Nikole, welcome. Great to see you again. Anybody who's been following my channel knows that we have had podcasts. We had a podcast before some while back, and I think we're going to take it a step further now into that realm because orbs, they're here. We're seeing them. So welcome. I want to talk about, just before we started recording, I want to talk about the patterns, the correlation between people who see orbs and we've talked about people who become psychic mediums after near-death experiences. We know that people have had psychic abilities that appear after traumatic experiences. What is that? Chris Bledsoe, those of you who may or may not be familiar, had a UFO experience 18 years ago. It ruined his life. He has no incentive whatsoever to share his experience. He cannot be debunked, and he began to see orbs and other beings that appeared to him. It has become so prevalent now that he has thousands of videos. So, what is it that happened to Chris Bledsoe? And there is definitely a pattern of trauma. Let's talk right away. And by the way, everybody who's excited about this, we're going to be doing a series of these podcasts that'll be on my channel and also Nikole's, where we're going to go into depth in each of these subjects. So please put your comments in there, ask questions. We'll address them, if not in this podcast, but future ones. You mentioned, because I suggested that we do a live streaming where I will be out here in Florida, Nikole will be in Michigan, and we will coordinate our efforts to call in orbs. But she mentioned something, and that she, since 2021, has not seen orbs outside, and neither have I. I want to talk about that. So I want to talk about what happened that year, actually 5 years ago, exactly to this day. You said
Yeah,
exactly. This was random that we picked today.
yeah, random, totally random.
Tell me what happened on
Um,
that day and what changed for you.
okay, I got into a car accident, not my fault, and it spun my car around, and I hit my head. They weren't sure if I like went forward and hit my head or sideways and hit my head, but I ended up with a concussion,
Mhm.
um, and whiplash. And after that, I started like when I closed my eyes, I started seeing like colors and shapes. And my ears started ringing, which I know that's part of like the like one of the ascension symptoms that I hear about all the time. But that was on Thursday, February 13th,
Wow.
2020, when that happened.
2020.
2020. So it was 5 years ago
Yeah.
exactly today, which is
Wow.
just, and that just came into my mind yesterday. I'm like, that was wow. So,
Yeah.
so that was that. And then, like fast forward to 2021. I had said this in our other podcast. I went through a breakup and I was having family trauma and wasn't speaking with my family anymore. And that happened in the beginning of February of 2021. And then I saw a couple UFOs after that, like I'd say about a week or two after and the breakup and the family thing. And then the orbs, started seeing the orbs outside in April of 2021. And then they really started coming in June on my birthday in 2021. And they were the big, huge orbs. Like I've watched a bunch of Chris Bledsoe's videos, but they were the big, huge, otherworldly orbs, the brilliant, bright white ones. And I could communicate with those telepathically. Could ask them to flash and they would flash for me. And I'm like, feel like I'm repeating myself, but they would kind of like dance and show off. So that was the
Well,
outside.
just remember, most people have not seen that other one, and if they have, I want to go in deep now. So let's stop right there.
Okay.
Tell me about the UFOs first before we go to the orbs.
Okay.
What two UFOs? What were the circumstances? What did they look like?
Just driving. So,
Driving.
'cause I have notes on it. I didn't look at the notes before we started this today, but they were both in February of 2025. Both on the same road, driving,
2020,
or I'm sorry, 2021.
2021. Okay.
2021,
The
February of
accident was 2020, and it
yep.
was the following year you saw the two UFOs. Okay. Were this at the same time?
No, no. So, and well, thinking back, wow, because my accident was in February 2020. Had all that. February is a big month because then in 2021 I had the breakup and the family thing going on, and then saw that started seeing the UFOs. Wow.
Yeah.
It's all kind of coming together now, whatever's supposed to come together. So driving, driving home from work, and I lived rural at the time. And the first one, I saw a UFO in the do it again, southwest sky. Um, Hovered for a little while, was on the phone with was on the phone with my son. And I said, well, like whatever, what was that? It looked like a UFO to me. And then
Was this a metallic disc? What was the
yeah,
form?
it was metallic. I'm gonna have to look at my notes on that one. But that was like a smaller one because then I saw another one about a week or two later
Okay.
on the same road, but like in the northwest sky. And I remember that one more distinctively because it was bigger and it had like a top, a middle, and a bottom. It was metallic. It hovered longer, and that one had a flash come out of the side of it on the right side of it, and then it disappeared.
Wow.
On the phone with my son again when I saw that second one. And in between these
Now
two,
wait a second. Did we have any missing time? I have
uh-uh.
to ask, you
Yeah,
know?
no.
Okay. Yeah.
I was driving and, saw that one and saw the other one. And my son believes he saw a UFO too. He was living in the city at that time, like right in between the time that I saw the two. So just a lot a lot going on.
Yes.
So, and I've always seen, not always, but always been a sky watcher. Seen movement in the sky a lot, but I never, nothing like those two that I
Right.
saw.
Nothing
Those
that you could say for sure that was a UFO. This was clearly a
Those like
thing.
those were some kind of a craft in the sky, 100%. So
Okay.
I've seen stuff since then, but nothing like those two. Those I felt like those just showed up just for me. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just for that, that's what it felt like. The other ones I felt like anybody could just be like looking up at the sky and seeing the movement. Those I just felt like they were just like letting me know, like, hey, we're here.
Yes. Yes. So you see these two within, short period of time. And then when did the orbs show up? Shortly after that?
Um, not really. So that was in February. In April. And I had mentioned this in our other podcast too. My son was over, one of our friends were over, and we played the CE5 tones, the Greer thing.
Yes.
Played the CE5 tones. I had not heard of it, but our friend brought it up. So he played those for us, and we had some lights appear on the canal that I lived on. Never seen anything like it. If I recall correctly, they were like green lights. I saw them, our friend saw them. My son didn't see them, but he actually felt something like go through the yard.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was in April and then April of 2021. Then in June um, of 2021, I was on a back road and playing the tones again, got into the meditative state like the C5 app has you do.
Mhm.
And nothing was happening. And then about ready to give up. And then they just started appearing. And it was like boom, boom, boom. And not
Mhm.
fireflies, not, lightning bugs like we say here. They're not yellow. They were like a bright, brilliant white light.
Right.
And I saw those for months and months and months and months and months. And they were showing up at my house, showing up. I had woods right across the street from me, showing up on the tree lines in the woods, showing up inside the woods, showing up in the tree line, above the canal. I also had talked about those tiny little bitty light beings that I had seen before. They were like a greenish yellow, kind of no body, no form, but they were real tiny, like the size of, like one of my fingernails. Had one of those crawl up my arm and disappear. No physical form. Um, so that was all that in 2021. They just kind
Now, those orbs that you saw in your outside, you mentioned that you felt you were communicating with them. Can you share that experience a little bit more in detail?
yeah, like I would have them flash. I would talk to them and like in my mind telepathically and ask them like a yes no question.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing with like the little orbs stuff like asking them like is my name Nikole? And then they would flash for yes. Just like simple questions. I just can't, I can't think of anything right now of anything else, but just like asking like simple yes no questions and they would always flash for the yes. So, and then I did have some friends over to see them. My son had seen those as well, and our other friend. Um, because I want to make sure I wasn't cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, So I had some friends over, and I'm like, "Can you see these? Please tell me, can you see
Yeah.
these?" And they're like, oh yeah, what are they? And I'm like, I don't know what they are, but I just want to make sure that you can see them too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was finding that we could, I could and they could too. We could actually, it wasn't just telepathic, could actually ask them questions like out loud
Yes.
and they would respond too. So it wasn't just telepathic, but it started out that way. So,
Now we have photographs of this, and anytime we have some evidence, I'll be showing that. You'll be seeing this because she did send me those. And from what I recall, you can actually see inside some of these faces.
yep, yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
Those are the ones in the house. The ones outside, I didn't see like faces in those.
Okay.
Those were just giant orbs, spheres of light.
Okay.
Okay. And
Community.
then the other ones that I saw, like that were lower lying on the ground, they were just almost like a fluorescent looking light of like flowing energy, no physical form. And they would be like on like trees and branches and rocks and like crawl around on the
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
So, and that was all in 2021 when that was happening. And then in April of 2022 is when the orbs started showing up in my house.
Yes.
I had like the strip lights in the trim of my house, and one day they started flashing and changing colors, and I'm like, what's going on? So I turned on my phone, the video on my phone, and then the first orb flew by.
Now, did you see this physically, or was it just on the phone that you actually saw
Just
it?
on my just
On
on
the
my phone.
phone. Okay.
Still
Now,
to this day.
yeah.
I'm
Now, but you knew something prompted you to pull your phone out, which I have never done. And I have heard that sometimes you can see them physically also, and very often, just like EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon, uh, can't always be heard in the physical world, but can be heard on recordings. It's probably similar to that, don't you think? It has to do with the frequency, or yeah,
like
yeah.
I can not always, but a lot of times I like feel like something's going on. Like there's like a presence. So and that time something just told me, excuse me, just told me to press record. And I
Okay,
had not,
so this is the question because Nicole has put a training together. So if anybody's interested, if you're in my email list, you will have access to all of her stuff and the things that she and I work on together. We're going to make this available to you, including free training in my email list to talk about how you get into that state. I mean, not everybody has to go through trauma to do this, but she's picking up on feelings. I know Chris Bledsoe knows when they're coming. Do you have a sense when they will show up?
I believe I do.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Like I don't record as much. I've just been so busy lately. I don't record as much as I used to. But
Hmm. Hmm.
like lately it's more like I get it like a sense that they're there. You know what I mean? So I don't do it like I was doing it every night before. Now I might do it a couple few times a week.
Wow.
Um, but I get it's like, okay, you need to press record tonight.
Yeah.
It, and they're there. They're
So,
just there.
so if I took my cell phone, because I have seen orbs physically, I haven't seen them for a while. If I took my cell phone, my iPhone, and I just pressed record with no lighting at all and point, this is how you're recording these orbs. Okay.
Yep.
What I proposed to Nicole, which I'm going to announce this to everybody, and if you're in my email list, you'll especially be up to date this. We're going to do some experiments on calling in orbs while she is in Michigan and I'm in Florida, and we're going to do it internally, and then we're going to probably live stream. We put a lot of pressure on here. No pressure, Nicole.
No, not at all.
But yeah. Yeah. But try to call in some or see what we can do. Obviously, we don't control this, but with her connections and doing the protocol, which as we have heard from many people who do this, the meditation state and going to a state of love
Sure.
is very important. And this is why some people don't get results of many things in their lives because they're just not in the state, the frequency that's going to attract those lovely, beautiful beings. And there's nothing to fear. So, have you ever experienced anything that was of a negative nature?
Never.
Yeah, neither
Never.
of us.
It's always been just a loving, comforting, warm, protective feeling.
Yeah,
Um, and like when I first started seeing those outside, it was I can't describe it besides anything but bliss. Just
yeah,
absolute. I've never felt anything like that in my life, ever,
yeah,
ever. It was just a pure bliss. And now I can't say that I don't feel bliss anymore, but I'm used to having them around. I know
yeah,
that they're around all the time.
yeah.
So even when I'm having a bad day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that they're always there for comfort and for support. Um, and I've recorded them in every room in my house. I've recorded them in my car. I've recorded them in other people's homes that I've been in. This is the what
Mm.
third or fourth place that I've lived in the past, since all this started happening. I've recorded them at every place that I've lived to. So they're always around,
So
which is
it isn't a place, it isn't just it is a state of being. It's a connection, and obviously, we talk about the coincidences that aren't coincidences at all of those, but those who can go into that state of being can also experience this. You and I, we follow some of these people that communicate with other beings. Jake Barber happens to be one of my favorite because he is not into the drama and negativity of whistleblowing. He's actually experienced what you talked about, and that's a state of euphoria, of love that was beyond explanation, that changed his life. And since then, he has had experiences, and they actually now have their own protocol of calling them in. I think we're going to see more and more of this to the point where Chris Bledsoe does it with groups of people. It doesn't matter where he is, he knows when they're coming in. And this is where Nikole is going to start to expand into this because I feel that when we go into that space, it takes us personally into another space of understanding that doesn't require explanation, right? I mean, we talked about your little doggy. I will show uh, a video that Nikole sent with her little doggy who saw these orbs and followed that. This was one of the videos that you sent that I said, okay, the dog's seeing this, and that's
yep.
not an insect it's looking at. Yeah, but then when you lost your little pup, um, the orb showed up and it was absolutely unmistakable. You'll see it here in well, it wasn't a video, it was a picture, wasn't it? I think it was a picture you sent. That the little pup's face was blatantly, it was the dog. There was
Yeah.
no making this up, showed up in an orb. I was just blown away by that.
Not long after he passed either, too. And
Yeah,
that was the thing. It's like he came through to let me know, like, hey, I'm gone, but I'm still here, kind of I'm gone physically, but I'm still here in the spirit realm for you.
yeah,
And amazing,
yeah.
amazing.
Now, we talked about, and the big question is, what are these drones? Do we care? They haven't done anything so far to us. Obviously, our government knows about this, but what's most important, and I have felt, and many people have seen, that there are not just drones out there, there are orbs, and I feel that these beings of light are checking us out and have the ability to transform into different shapes and that they aren't just one thing. They are free energy that can basically take any form. What are your thoughts about that? And I know that you don't claim to have the answers to this, but what are your thoughts about like orbs? Are they just pure energy that has the ability to transform into whatever? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I mean, they have, so I
Yeah.
mean, they have. It has to be. It doesn't have to be. I mean, I don't know for sure, but like you said, but some kind of pure energy, like can transform into my dog. I've seen other faces in them
Yeah.
before. Nobody that I know, but the dog has shown up several times.
Yes.
Um, he's shown up several times, and like even outside, I have on video of me speaking out loud, is my dog here? And then this orb comes flying towards me, like right in front of my tree. And I could not see the dog in that one, but it responded to me. That was my dog 100%.
I
So,
love it.
but I've also seen like shapes in them, like sacred geometry kind of shapes
Yeah.
in them too.
Yes.
And I don't know what all that means. I haven't, done so much research on that. I'm more interested in, seeing my dog and in an orb,
Yeah. Well,
like,
and also the wonderful, beautiful feeling that comes with these pure energy beings. Have you ever seen a pyramid? I've heard that people have seen pyramids within the orbs.
I can't say that I have. I don't
No.
know.
Yeah.
But I would have to look because I think I had told you before. I've not ever taken a picture with an orb in it. All of my pictures come from videos. So I get like, I do like
Oh,
I get stills from the videos.
got it.
Pause the video and then I'll take a screenshot on my phone. That's how I get them. So, uh,
Oh, okay. I
you
didn't
know,
know that.
yeah, a lot of people get them. Like they say that, they took a picture of their family and there's an orb, above Grandpa Joe's head or something like that. I've
Yeah.
never had something like that happen before.
Yeah.
So from video. So everybody has a different experience, it seems
Yeah.
like. I mean, similar but different. And I think they're suited to you. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yes.
That's what it feels like. They're kind of like customized to you, like what you would recognize. And
Yes.
like the different colors and stuff. I have to do a little more research on that, but like I know like I get a lot of because I've had a lot of stuff going on and the trauma. I have a lot of green orbs coming to me, and green is supposed to be healing.
Ah.
So I get a lot of those. I get quite a lot of pink. Remember last year when I asked if I should share the orbs with you, and a hot pink one showed up, and that's obviously
Yeah.
that's
She
unconditional.
asked permission. I like that.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing to do.
Yes.
I think that's a have respect for what we're experiencing. So, but they are funny and they do have a sense of humor, and I
Yeah.
want to share with people too. Yeah, I mean, you can ask silly things and it's kind of like they laugh. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
I think
always felt that myself with my experiences, not with the orbs, but other beings, that there is great humor and they just don't take anything seriously. We're the ones that create the trauma and the stories and that there's laughter that sometimes is inappropriate. This isn't funny. I'm going, no, it really is. You know?
you're glub 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 glub. Talking about like the hurricanes coming
Yeah.
through.
What are you gonna move? There's hurricanes coming. Yeah. Well, I can swim pretty well, but after that, glub glub. If it's my destiny. And so this is what I really want to do. And so we're going to have more of these, and we're going to break these down according to your comments and what you want to hear more of. We're going to continue these discussions, but more than anything, we're going to demonstrate it. We're going to call them in. We're going to talk about how this can be done through communication. As Nikole said, not as a parlor trick, a circus trick. Oh, I'm going to show off or can I do this? We have to be in alignment with the compassionate, beautiful, unconditional love that they are. And I think, in my opinion, the trauma is what attracts them in to certain people who, as like we saw, anybody who's familiar with Eckhart Tolle's awakening, was at the worst possible time in his life. The dark night of the soul is when we let go of everything and we stop trying to have the answers. And this is a surrender that I believe is an opening, which I think, and also that beautiful unconditional comforting love that they are here to help us to find our way outside of suffering and struggling. So we want to explore that. So I want to invite all of you. You're going to see it's called landria.com free inspiration. those of you who've been in my email list, you're going to go into the new series. You're going to see certain things that Nikole and I are going to do together, including we're going to start out with one of her shorts. It's going to be like a mini course of how to do this and what does it mean and how to film them, the meditation that's involved. And then as she develops her channel and other things, you will get access to all of that via the email list so that you can give her all the attention you desire. And so I'm going to end this because there's just so much for us to explore, and I want to continue on our discussions. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for spending time with me. I can't wait to do our little experiments. And again, everyone will get that announcement. And then if we get gutsy enough, we'll live stream it. Yeah, eeks, no pressure there. Yeah. Uh,
Well,
yeah. And thank you so much, Nikole, and everyone. Thank you for participating. Again, please subscribe. Go into the description. You can access anything down there. And let's go into a new world that's amazing, a golden era that's available to all of us. So thank you. And we'll talk to you soon.
bye-bye.